It was a Sunday morning, the kind where you expect coffee and quiet, but instead, I pulled into my neighborhood after a weekend camping trip to find my driveway buried under a chaotic sprawl of folding tables, wobbly signs, and piles of junk baby onesies, chipped mugs, a toaster missing its cord. A crowd of bargain hunters shuffled through. One lady VYing a cracked vase at me like I was crashing her party. At the heart of it all stood Linda, arms crossed, a floppy sun hat tilted like she was queen of the cul-de-sac, barking at a sulky teenager to stack those DVDs neatly. My driveway, my property, and Linda was running a full-on flea market on it. I honked, sharp and annoyed. She spun around, squinting through dollar store shades, then get this wave me off, shouting, "Hey, glad you're back. Park down the street, hon. Big event today." My grip tightened on the steering wheel. Park down the street? On my own block. I backed up, tires crunching over a stray pile of romance novels, and wedged my car onto the grass by my fence. I didn't yell. Not yet. Instead, I grabbed my phone, hit record, and captured every inch of her empire tables leaning against my garage, a banner screaming, "Neighborhood charity sale," like that made it okay. Neighbors milled about, some looking uneasy, one guy muttering to his wife, "Is this even legal?" I tried talking to Linda, keeping my voice steady. "This is my property. You didn't ask." She smirked, brushing me off. "HOA approved it, Tom. Don't be a grump. It's for charity. Charity, my foot." I called the HOA head, Greg, who mumbled some nonsense about Linda pitching at last minute and assuming I'd be fine since I was out of town. I hung up, fuming as Linda hollered, $2 for the stroller. Grab it. By noon, cars were double parked, one blocking my mailbox, another squashing my petunias. Then I saw two kids peeing in my shrubs while their mom laughed. "Oh, it's just nature." That was it. I marched up to Linda. "Clear this out in 10 minutes, or I'm calling the cops." She cackled, loud enough to turn heads. "Go ahead, Tom. It's a community event. You'll just look like a fool." I called the police twice, explaining I couldn't even get to my own house. By the time they arrived, Linda had packed up, chirping to the officer, "Just helping the neighborhood." I had no proof of damage yet, so I let it slide, but that night, sitting on my porch with a soda, staring at tire marks on my concrete, something snapped. If Linda wanted my driveway to be a public circus, fine. I'd give her a show she'd never forget. The next morning, I made calls. Not angry ones, just calculated. I found a bounce house rental company, the kind with giant, gaudy inflatables that scream fun and chaos. Linda's little sale was about to meet its match. Then came the HOA notice, taped to my door in bold red marker. Violation of community decorum. My crime? Calling the cops on a trespasser. Greg's signature was at the bottom, but Linda's fingerprints were all over it. Then my neighbor Sally left a voicemail, her voice shaky. "Linda says you're against community spirit, Tom. Let's stay united, okay?" Just like that, the neighborhood turned. People I'd grilled burgers with avoided my gaze. Dog walkers crossed the street. Fines started piling up due Law 44, yard neglect, because a few petals fell, due Law 75 for a cluttered driveway, over a traffic cone I'd set out to block Linda's cars. I tried reasoning with Greg, but he just stammered, "Linda's got the boar, man. Drop it." Then Linda announced her next move on the neighborhood Facebook group, a monthly community market on my driveway. "It worked great last time," she posted. I replied, "It's my property. That's illegal." The post vanished, and Linda DM'd me. "Stop being difficult, Tom. You're not a good fit for this neighborhood." That stung. I knocked on her door, hoping to talk it out. She cracked it open, sneered, "I don't negotiate with people who sit cops on neighbors," and slammed it shut. That night, the anger faded into something sharper. If Linda wanted to play dirty, I'd play louder. The bounce house guy confirmed delivery, a castle, an obstacle course, a water slide. Weekly subscription. I mowed my lawn, pressure washed the driveway, and checked the HOA handbook no rules against a family gathering on my own property. Saturday morning, Linda strutted out, clipboard in hand, ready for her sale. She stopped dead. A 15-foot inflatable castle loomed over her usual spot, a red banner flapping. "Private party. Kids welcome." I waved. "Morning, Linda. Perfect day for a bounce, huh?" Her face twisted. "You can't do this," she hissed. I shrugged. Show me the rule. Kids flooded to neighbors, cousins, kids from a flyer I'd posted online. Free juice boxes, clown music blaring. Linda stormed to Greg, ranting about noise and permits, but he just mumbled, he's on his own land. The kids' laughter drowned her out. Parents cheered. Linda's clipboard sagged. This wasn't just a party, it was war, and I was winning. Bounce House Saturdays became a hit. Every weekend, more families showed up. I added a snow cone machine, sprinklers, coolers of snacks. Linda fought back, calling the HOA daily noise violations, commercial active VY tie, even claiming I was charging admission. I had receipts for every free snack. She left voicemails so shrill they got forwarded to me by mistake. This man's turning our street into a circus. But the neighborhood loved it. Kids call my place the fun house. Linda stood on her porch, glaring, snapping photos like a private eye. Then she upped the ante. A city code inspector, Frank, showed up after anonymous complaints about excessive gatherings. I walked him through my setup, showed him the HOA bylaws. He chuckled at the snow cone machine. Harmless, he said, then sighed. She's filed 7 complaints this week. One about balloons scaring birds. Another about foxes. Foxes. I laughed. Frank winked. Keep going, Tom. You got the neighborhood. Even the Jensen's big shots 2 doors down gave me a nod after I brought them cookies and explained. It's our Saturday highlight, Mrs. Jensen said. Just don't block the road. Linda wasn't done. Signs started appearing on my lawn, red letters, cardboard, spelling investigation wrong, claiming I was under scrutiny for illegal events. One had a QR code to a fake group called Save Our Streets, run by Linda and her 2 aliases. Her Facebook rants got wild. VY bratines from my bounce houses were cracking her foundation. Kids were trained to disrespect authority. Someone memed her with a clipboard. Bounce house? More like blasphemy house. Then she pushed for an emergency HOA vote to ban recreational active VY ties on driveways. I showed up with VY Dios kids laughing, neighbors smiling. Sally, once Linda's ally, said her grandkids loved it. The Jensens called it life in the neighborhood. Greg couldn't hide his grin. Linda ranted, he's turning our classy community into a zoo. I fired back. You used my driveway first, Linda. I'm just following your lead. The vote tanked. Linda stormed out, clipboard flapping as people clapped. The air shifted. Neighbors waved again, brought snacks, helped set up. Bounce House Saturdays were the block's heartbeat. Linda went quiet, her blinds drawn. Too quiet. Then my rental supplier bailed, texting about neighborhood legal pressure. Linda's doing. No vendor could deliver by Saturday. Kids showed up hopeful. I saw Linda's curtain twitch, her smirk peeking through. She thought she'd won. But I wasn't done. I cranked music on a speaker, handed out sidewalk chalk. Kids drew dinosaurs, stars. One girl sketching a giant lady yelling at a bounce house. Parents brought bubbles, a tent. The driveway became a carnival. No inflatables needed. Linda couldn't stop it. That night, I drove to a buddy's party supply warehouse. He owed me one. By sunrise, his truck rolled in with a 20-foot obstacle course, ropes, tunnels, a foam pit plus an inflatable boxing ring with giant gloves. The street exploded. Phones out, neighbors gawking. Linda stormed out, screaming, "This is harassment." I stepped close, voice calm. "I'm using my driveway, Linda. You just hate fun." She recorded me, yelling about fining every kid's parent. My new security cams caught it all. Then Greg showed up, not as HOA boss, but as a dad, his twins DVYing into the foam pit. Linda snapped, "What are you doing?" He shrugged. "Have you no they phone? Try it." The crowd laughed, clapped. Linda fled, red-faced. The next morning, a tow truck arrived, claiming my inflatables blocked the street. I showed the driver my footage, the property line, the bylaws. He laughed. "Whoever you pissed off, this is above my pay grade," and left. Linda had overplayed her hand. She'd lied to the city, harassed parents, turned herself into the neighborhood joke. Sunday was too calm, like the quiet before storm. I set up the biggest event yet, with a special guest, Officer Martinez, off duty, his daughters bouncing gleefully. He'd responded to my first call months ago and liked my style, calm, legal, documented. Linda watched from her window, defeated. Then a white SUV pulled up. A county inspector, clipboard in hand, knocked on Linda's door. My anonymous complaint about her unpermitted sales on my property had hit its mark. Shouting echoed, papers shuffled, and the inspector pointed at my drive with Linda's old setup spot. Our eyes met. For the first time, she looked scared. The inspector left. Linda stayed inside. The next morning, a for sale sign stabbed her lawn. No goodbye, no rant, just retreat. Bounce house Saturdays grew. A cotton candy machine appeared, then a popcorn stand. Greg helped set up. The Jensens pitched an official HOA fun day. Kids call my place the happy zone. It was never about the inflatables. It was about taking back my space, about joy out shouting control, about pro-VYing one jerk with a clipboard doesn't own the neighborhood. Every time a kid squeals, "This is the best place ever," I grin, thinking of Linda's smug wave that first day and how I bounced back harder than she ever dreamed. So what do you think? Was I too harsh, turning my driveway into a battleground? Or did Linda deserve every bounce of that inflatable chaos? Should I have fought quieter, or was loud, joyful retaliation the only way to win? And what would you have done if someone hijacked your property like that? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Bounce House, and subscribe for more stories where everyday folks take on the Karens of the world.